Hello everyone, welcome back to my vlog. My name is Fauziah, and today I would like to explain to you. The first one is the principles of TEYL. Here, there are four principles of TEYL. First is implicit learning. Implicit learning refers to learning without intention. Implicit learning describes learning that happens through experience, interaction, and practice. Instead of focusing on memorization and the rules themselves, implicit learning is the result of using the rules to solve problems, learning from mistakes, and develop instinct for the new patterns of information. So, the example of implicit learning is learning by games. Because young learners like to play, so I think learning by games is the best way to teach them because they will not realize that they are learning, right? So, the second is meaningful learning. Meaningful learning is learning that is both relevant to the student's life and aims to achieve deep understanding through the contextualization of the knowledge with current knowledge and experience. So, the example of meaningful learning is strategic include active learning, project-based learning, inquiry-based learning, experimental learning, and peer collaboration. So the third is contextual learning. The principle of contextual learning explores how bringing learning into the context can make the experience more meaningful to students. As part of the process of exploring content across different contexts and seeing how its relevance. A contextualized learning experience prepares students for life outside the classroom. So the last is learner-centeredness. A learner-centeredness approach views learners as active agents. They bring their own knowledge, past experience, education, and ideas, and it impacts how they take on board new information and learn. It differs significantly from a traditional instructor-centered approach. Learner-centered teaching methods shift the focus on activity from the teacher to learners. These methods include active learning, in which students solve problems, answer questions, formulate questions of their own, discuss, explain, debate, or brainstorm during class. Okay, everyone, now I would like to explain to you about approaches, methods, and techniques of TEYL. First is behaviorism. This approach uses repetition and rewards to teach young learners. It focuses on practicing things over and over until they become automatic and rewarding correct responses. The second is multiple intelligences. This approach suggests that learners have different strengths and preference for learning. Techniques use a variety of activities. Teachers use a variety of activities like music, art, movement to match these different styles. The third is input hypothesis. This theory says learners need to hear and understand language before they can speak or write it well. It emphasizes exposure to language through listening and reading. The fourth is humanist. This approach values students' emotions and experiences. Teachers create a supportive environment where students feel safe and learn and express themselves. And the fifth is constructive. According to this approach, learners build their understanding of language by actively participating and creating their own knowledge. Teachers facilitate this process through activities that encourage exploration and discovery. So now about the methods of the EYL. First is audiolingual. This method focuses on listening and speaking skills through repetitive drills. It based on the idea that language learning is habit information, similar to learning music or sports skills. The second is total physical response or TPR. TPR uses physical movement to teach language. Teachers give commands and students respond physically, associating language with action, which helps it reinforce understanding and memory. The third is communicative language teaching or CLT. This method emphasizes communication over grammar rules. Students practice using language in real life context, focusing on meaningful interactions rather than memorization. So now is the techniques of TEYL. First is PPP or presentation, practice, and production. This is a traditional lesson framework where presentation, the teacher introduces new language or concept. So the practice, students engage in activities to reinforce understanding, like drills or exercises. And about the production, students use the language independently in realistic situation or demonstrate their learning. And these approaches, methods, and techniques offer various ways to engage young learners effectively, considering their developmental stages and learning preferences. Okay, maybe that's all about today. So thank you so much for listening and see you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.